Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jack Akrop. I'm an ocean lifeguard, professional big wave surfer, and ocean sports coach here for the youth of Santa Cruz. And today we're going to talk a little bit about my quiver of surfboards. Today I wanted to go over my quiver. We've got some big wave boards, we've got some medium-sized boards. This is a great company, Strive, out of Santa Cruz. I always love supporting local shapers, and John Henderson, founder of Strive Surfboards, has been kind enough to let me collaborate with him, and we're sort of working together to create different shapes and try to create the best big wave boards out there, really. So we're going to start with this one. This is the board that I got my 2 nominations for the biggest paddle last year at the Mavericks Awards, along with the Ride of the Year. This is a 9.2. We'll go through the dimensions a little bit. 9.2, 21 1/4, 3 3/4 thick. Definitely a little bit wider than a lot of the boards I've been riding in the past, and quite a bit thicker, but also a little bit shorter. So that little bit of thickness, as well as that little bit of width, I feel at least gives me a little extra volume, allowing you to go a little shorter. For the most part, I've been riding boards in the 9.6 to 9.8 range out at Mavericks, and this board paddles faster than all of those boards. That's due to a couple things. So this board has a lot of volume up in the nose, kind of up in this upper section as well as the middle of the board. So what that allows you to do is get super far forward on the board and get a lot of plane through the water. So anytime we're paddling, whether it's prone paddling on a prone paddle board or a big wave gun or even your short board, the flatter you can get the board through the water, the better. As soon as you start getting too much weight on the tail, that creates what we call drag. And drag's not a good thing. It's kind of like having an anchor. Sometimes you'll see people on surfboards and their nose is super high like this. You're dragging all that weight. You want the board to be flat and flying through the water. So one way to really tell that a board has good plane and that you're in the correct position on your board is if you're paddling through the water and you look at the nose and a little bit of water is shooting up over the front of the board, okay? If you go too far forward and the nose starts to purl under or submarine under the water, that's not a good thing. But you want a little bit of water coming off the nose of that board. And this board going into that Ride of the Year nomination wave, it felt like I just had all this speed going into the wave, and it allowed me just that much more confidence to get in before that lip went and through. So call it skill, call it equipment. We're talking about equipment right now, so I think this is probably one of the best boards I've ever ridden, because I've tried that drop a bunch of different times on different pieces of equipment, and I've nosedived every time. Now, again, maybe experience over time, those wipeouts could have played a role in it, learning how to ride the wave, but I think this board overall is pretty incredible. Based off of this model right here, so again, this is a 9.2. At Mavericks, I feel like a 9.2 is pretty much all you need on most days until you start getting into that, outer realm where you're catching waves at the 2nd and 3rd reef, where you want a little more board so you can catch the chip into the wave. When it's breaking directly on the bowl, I don't think you really need much more than a 9.2, because again, you really want to be able to fit the wave. You want to be able to, the board needs to fit inside the wave, and if it's too long, you're going to catch your nose, and you're going to purl over the top of it. So with that in mind, John let me ride this 8.4. Now this board's really small, especially for a wave like Mavericks, but people definitely have gone this small and smaller in the past, and I really think this is kind of the future of big waves, is riding smaller boards in bigger surf. So this one's 8.4, 21 inches wide, 3 1/4, so about a ½ inch thinner than that one, so thickness, and about, this one was 21 3/4, so this one's about 3/4 inch thick less in width than this one. This board I got to ride this spring rather down in Pasquales, and it felt really good. I didn't really get it into surf much bigger than 15 or 20 foot on the face, but I'm looking forward to riding this thing. You know, this board's going to be kind of a medium-sized, mid-range Mavericks when the left's really doing its thing. You know, that 20-foot face to 30-foot face range, I think this board's going to work really good. And again, you know, it's just going to be able to fit into the pocket of the wave really well. A nice thing about these Strive boards that we didn't have on this one, what we do have on this one is this deck pad. So these are really nice when you're transitioning from places like Mexico to California, or you're going from Hawaii back to California. You don't need to wax and scrape your wax and then re-wax your board. It's just ready to go, and you can use this in warm water, you can use this in cold water. So that's another really nice addition that they throw into all these Strive boards, which is really great. Also the deck pad. I like a deck pad. I'm pretty sure on that Ride of the Year nomination, my foot was all the way back on the tail right there. It's not super common, but it's nice to feel like you have a little bit of room to give in case your foot slips back. You have something that's going to block your foot from falling off the back of the board. So those are my two big wave guns for this winter. Again, I'll probably get something a little bit bigger in the 10.2 or 10.6 range for those really giant days. But for the most part, these are going to be the boards I'm going to be riding this next winter. This is a 6.8 right here. So this is his son John's son John Jr. board that he let me use out in Hawaii last year. And I got to use this board at Sunset Beach. And also this summer I went over to Tahiti and surfed this board at Chopu. There's kind of a little bit of, you know, back and forth with people whether they like swallowtails or pintails. For these ones we just went with the pintail, and basically that's just going to allow you a lot more hold into the wave. All these boards have 5-fin setups. I typically ride thrusters. I've ridden quads a little bit, but for the most part I like the thruster setup. So, you know, this board right here, again, 6 foot, 8 inches long. This is pretty much good all the way up until 20-foot faces. You can ride this board at pretty much, maybe not as big as Ocean Beach gets, but it's got a lot of, again, same as these other boards, it has a lot of volume throughout it. So it allows you to, you know, paddle around and chase those peaks at a wave like Puerto Escondido or a wave like Ocean Beach or anywhere, you know, big Chopu. This is kind of the go-to board for that. So with that said, I wanted something this summer, again, riding this over in Tahiti, I wanted something that had the same paddle power as this one, but was just a little bit smaller, because with a wave like Chopu, you know, even more so than Mavericks, the wave just goes so hollow so quick that you need something that's going to be able to fit inside the wave and not purl over. So this is what we came up with. This is a 6.6, so only 2 inches shorter than the 6.8 right here. But I think this is going to be the one right here. It's a little bit thinner too. So this one was, what is this one? 2 5/8? No, so same thickness. This one is, let's see, 19. Okay, so 19 5/8, and this one's 19 3/8. So a little bit narrower, same thickness, and 2 inches shorter. So, you know, basically you're getting pretty much the best of both worlds. You're getting the paddle power of a board like this, maybe a little less than this board, but again, what you lose in paddle power, you're going to gain in, you know, control and being able to make like a really steep drop. Again, typically this has 5 fins. I usually like to ride a thruster, but, you know, in super hollow down the line waves, that quad setup could be really good. So that's the equipment for now. We'll keep you updated. Again, we're just going to keep kind of taking different equipment and making more stuff.